Carolina Panthers wrapped up day 3 of mandatory minicamp. We are here to get you caught up with the latest stories.
Brace yourself for the ultimate Carolina Panthers experience. Welcome to Two Growls, One Roar, the podcast that hits harder than a Luke Kuechly tackle. We're diving deep into the heart of Panther Nation, bringing you unrivaled passion, insider takes, and pure gridiron fire. From Wilmington to the cosmos, this is your home for the fiercest football talk east or west of Charlotte.
Welcome into another edition of the Two Growls, One Roar podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. We are back with a short episode today as we recap day 3 of mandatory minicamp. So mandatory minicamp is done. OTAs over. And now we have a 5-ish week break leading up to training camp. Of course, unfortunately, fans are not going to get a chance to go to training camp this year or see anything. I'm sure there's going to be some type of fan fest. We'll get the details on that at Bank of America Stadium. I'm assuming you guys may want to attend a preseason game. We got 2 home preseason games. It's a good opportunity since we don't have training camp, in my opinion, to get out and see the team go. So me personally, I'm going to try to see if we can get it to at least one preseason game. We can watch it on TV, but just to be able to get down there and possibly fan fest. Got to see how schedules play out, but hopefully getting to see them in person. Now, we've got that break, so it's going to be pretty quiet. So I'm going to have a lot of things coming for you guys. If you're not subscribed or following the podcast, I recommend you do it because we do a breakdown every year heading into training camp of every single player on the roster. We'll get into early predictions on the 53-man and, have some fun with it. Look at the coaching staff. Those are all the things we do. Bold predictions. We do pretty much everything. Schedule analysis. Again, getting closer. Early previews of the game. It's right around the corner. Hard to believe it. So starting out, as far as news, there wasn't anything truly notable that came out of yesterday outside of Tetairoa McMillan did not practice again. That's precautionary. You're trying to get him ready for training camp, so it makes sense. But on a positive note, you now look at Jimmy Horn Jr. being back. So remember, he missed a little bit of time, I think, the first 2 days. So now he is back in the mix. I think it's important for him to get the reps and to be seen because as Dave Canales has emphasized and as we have talked about, this wide receiver battle is real. And it's the first time probably in several years, maybe even longer, where we've had an actual competition and you do not know who's going to make the back end. And making the back end of this roster, which let's be real, in the season, it's probably 6 wide receivers. There's a possibility you keep 7 at the cut. I don't know if the Panthers are going to do that, but I lean towards 6. And the final number 5 or number 6 wide receiver is going to have to be able to contribute on special teams in some way. And not just some way, the more you can do, the better. And so you do look at a guy like Renfro, who is not necessarily a special teamer anymore. I know he's returned in the past, but you have David Moore, you have some of these other guys. Jimmy Horn, I know possibly in the return game, but guys that may be able to play a little bit more on special teams. And how does that impact it? I think Hunter Renfro has done enough to make the roster. So, and again, Jalen Coker, special teams, Xavier safe from where he sits, and we know Tetairoa McMillan, but we'll get into that when we get there. All that to say, it is going to be a competition. It is competitive. And if you're a Panthers fan, you should be excited because it's just something the Panthers have not had, and they haven't had it with Bryce Young as the quarterback, having a talented group like this. And so I'm excited for what that means for the season. So you look at where the Panthers are now, Dave Canales emphasizing that, for the players, this isn't a vacation for the next 5 weeks. Like, vacations happen when the season ends. You are now in this preparation mode, getting your body, your mind, everything prepared for training camp. So everything that you've built off of through the spring, through phase 1, 2, and 3 OTAs, this mini camp, that now sets the pace to get prepared for the season. And so that's where the Carolina Panthers sit right now. Now, we had a promising day again on the defensive side of the ball. If you guys followed social media, you got to see one here. Mike Jackson is reported, picked off Bryce Young, ran it all the way back. And I think some folks said he probably wouldn't have actually been able to run it back and if it was a game, but he did it because he was excited. And then we saw the clip of that. So Mike Jackson intercepting Bryce Young, fantastic play. He fell down, took it back, and then there were quite a few pass deflections. Christian Roseboom, a guy that I've talked about, is potentially starting in place of Trevin Wallace. It's my early read. Not necessarily going to happen. I think they're going to try to give this, if possible, to Wallace. I don't think they're going to give anything away, but I do feel like they would want to lean with the guy that they drafted. But Roseboom making some significant plays on defense as well. We know about the effort, everything that they've talked about, the improvements on the defensive front. We'll hopefully get to start seeing this in action. Biggest thing is the health of this team, offense, defense, is going to be a big driver into how successful they can be in 2025. Because I do think it's going to be improved. I've talked about it. I don't think they go back as far. Beginning improvement and taking a step forward from where they were last year, which isn't hard to do, is going to center around Derrick Brown. And so his path to a comeback, you think about the Pro Bowl season, when the last one he was healthy, record for most tackles by a defensive lineman in a season. We know about the knee injury, the recovery, and getting back in football shape. But it sounds like he anticipates to be back and ready for training camp, which is positive news. He's kind of slowly worked his way through this recovery process. I mean, personally, it should be more than enough time. So, I mean, and I don't think there's been a setback. So, coming off a meniscus, it's not nearly as severe as an ACL. It's still substantial, but like he should be in good hands. We talked through the wide receiver position battle. Again, good to have Jimmy Hoare Jr. back. David Moore continues to make plays. I personally don't know. I don't know how this thing is going to play out. As I said, a piece of this puzzle is going to fall into special teams, coverage units, returners. You think about all those pieces. Where and how can you get on the field and contribute the most? And so we'll see how it goes. At the end of practice, it wasn't a drill or anything that Canales put on, but you did have Ike Ekwonu and Robert Hunt racing off the field as they close things out. And so, yeah, that pretty much does it, folks. I mean, we could probably spend a little more time talking through some of the highlights and notes, but I think high level, like we're here. This is it. There was a nice clip of Xavier Legette making a nice one-handed catch posted by Panther social media. It was just starting to warm up, so I'm not going to over-exaggerate. But biggest takeaway has to be Bryce Young, his leadership, his trash talking. And I listened to Darren Gant yesterday, 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh, talking about like this is who Bryce Young has been. He's always had this, but the winning wasn't there. And the winning's still not there all the way, but just based off of the momentum that was built, you do feel like, okay, yeah, things are kind of making a turn in the right direction. And so that is going to conclude your mandatory minicamp. As always, folks, again, we're going to be back, more analysis and breakdown of where the Carolina Panthers sit, the roster. Like we said, 53-man projections, storylines, anything and everything, position battles to watch in more detail, player health. So if you're not tuned in, I recommend that you guys subscribe to the channel. As always, this is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.